Math 1, ready, set, go, 9.5. So, talking about scatter plots. So, we're taking a look at the scatter plot. It's kind of like an average line. So, we're going to estimate where it could be. So, first thing we want to do is look at the shape. Okay, looks like it's heading down in this direction, doesn't it? Okay, now it's kind of got some variability in there, so we want to kind of average it. So, maybe a good starting point, y-intercept, would be 102. Okay. And then, wants us to sketch the line in number 2, write the equation, and think of the slope. So maybe I'd pick out where the x would be. Okay. I think my x-intercept might be right about here if I was able to extend this line out. So maybe about at 25. Okay. So my slope, I'd be going down 102 and over 25. So my slope would be negative 102 divided by 25, which I don't think I can reduce that. Okay, so if I wanted to, maybe I could say this was actually 24. Let's say that in case I wanted to be able to simplify a little bit better. So 102 and 24 can be reduced to about 17/4, which would be 4 1/4, okay, or 4.25. So I could do my slope as 4.25. Often, line of best fit, we do it that way, or 17/4. Okay. So then I would sketch my line, which would look something like this. Okay. And my equation would be y equals my y-intercept, and then I'm going down, so it would be a negative, wouldn't it? Negative 4.25x. Okay, yours may be slightly different, that's fine. Now, for the next ones, we actually need to take these numbers and put them on the next page. So A was 0.05, B was 0.97, C was negative 0.94. Put these decimals here a little better. Okay. D, negative 0.49. Okay. E, 0.68. 0.68 positive. And F, negative 0.25. Okay. Now, with when we're talking about correlation, because that's what it wants us to possible correlational coefficients. Okay. So the way we think about it is it's either between negative 1 and 0 or 0 and 1. Okay. Negative 1 would be a negative slope, so it would be going down this way. If it's negative 1, it would be like a perfect straight line. And if it was positive, it's going up, and it would be like the data would be a positive straight line. The closer it gets to 0, it's basically, it's all over the place, and you can't really see a pattern. So the best thing to do is to look at our strongest pattern. Let's start with the negatives. Okay, so we've got this negative, and this negative. So negative 0.94 is going to be our strongest negative. So let's look at our graphs and find the negative ones. So here's a negative. This one looks fairly negative, as does this one. Okay? So out of those negative ones, the strongest looking one would be number 3, right? So that would be C, our negative 0.94, because it's very close together, very close to a straight line. Negative 0.94 is close to negative 1. Okay. Now the next one between 4 and 8, 4 is closer together. Okay. Notice it's wider apart than 3, but that would probably be a good one for D. Okay. So negative 0.49 would be our correlational coefficient, which means F would have to be this one. So negative 0.25. Because this kind of has a negative. It's hard to tell because of all the stuff we got going on, but that's probably our best bet for deciding that. Okay. Now let's look at our positives. So for our positives, we have 6, 5, and 7. So you can see that's going to be your bigger number, positive, to this one. Then this one's kind of really, much more spread out. So our highest positive would be 97. So that would be this one, B, or 0.97. Okay. Then our next is the 0.68, so E. So 0.68 would be this one, making 5 be our 0.5, or A, 0.05. Okay, and there we go with those ones. Alright, so on to the last part of here. So we've got basically trying to draw something better, something that has a greater slope. A greater slope would mean a bigger number. The greater the slope, the steeper it would be. So you need to draw a line with a steeper slope. Okay? Now 9, a lesser slope, it's basically flat, so lesser would be going I don't know if you can really have a lesser slope because that's a slope of 0. Okay? A lesser slope would be more horizontal than that, which I don't see that happening here. Okay? Somebody could try to argue that this would be, and I suppose that would be a negative slope, which would be lesser than a 0, so we'll call that good. Okay, number 10, a larger y-intercept, so it'd start up higher here, a lesser slope, so it's going to be more straight down. 11, a slope that's the opposite reciprocal. Opposite reciprocal gives you perpendicular, so you'd have to do something like that. Alright, there we go with those ones, guys. Something like that. It may not look exactly the same, but as long as it's basically the same, we should be good.